If you want even more NFL Draft videos right here on our NFL Draft YouTube channel by Chat Sports, simply like today's video for me, please and thank you. Mel Kiper has dropped his updated 2025 quarterback rankings, so I wanted to break them down and give my own thoughts on the players, of course, here as well. At number 1 for Mel is Shedeur Sanders, the Colorado quarterback, who is also, by the way, the number 4 overall player on Mel's big board. He has always been a large fan of Shedeur Sanders, gives him a lot of credit for being tough against all the sacks. I would also point out that some of the sacks are his fault. He tends to hold the ball a lot longer than he needs to. He's also a very accurate quarterback. Shedeur, for me, is what I call the executor of an offense. You know, if the scheme isn't terrible, if things are the way they're supposed to be, if your head coach says, hey, this is read 1, this is read 2, get through them, maybe get to read 3 if we have to, I think he can do that on a pretty effective basis. He's accurate, got a quick release. The overwhelming physical skill set is not great. I know he's listed at 215. He'll probably be 215 at the combine, and he ain't going to test because I think that will be water weight, kind of like Bryce Young. He played closer to 200 at Colorado. He's not got a big frame. He's not an elite dual threat. He can move. He's not a statue, but the physical skill set isn't overwhelming. Now, Cam Ward also doesn't have the same overwhelming physical skill set, but he demonstrates a little bit more mobility and a little bit more arm angle stuff. You know, the extreme example is Matthew Stafford, I think, could throw the ball backwards somehow, and it would go forward. Like, he's got unbelievable arm flexibility and angles that he can deliver. He's had some ball security issues in the past. That is a valid red flag. He holds the ball too long. He is a creator on offense. Sometimes a creator on defense as well, where he makes mistakes and is inclined to hold the ball too long, force a bad throw, get picked off, but he makes plays happen. You know, if you're running a Shanahan-style system, maybe you're more interested in Shedeur Sanders. If you're trying to get someone to generate big plays for you, Giants, Dable, Cam Ward stands out to me. Overall, for this 2025 quarterback class, it's not great. Someone probably becomes a starter. Maybe you get a Brock Purdy-esque guy that emerges as a late-round pick who becomes a starter for you. For me, Sanders and Ward are very clearly the top of the class. And there is a draft order, or a drop-off after that. These guys have real concerns in their games. They've also shown a lot more on a consistent basis, especially outside of structure, than a lot of the guys we're going to get to here later on. Who do you think gets drafted first? SS for Shedeur Sanders, CW for Cam Ward. Pin comment prediction. Go vote SS for Shedeur Sanders, CW for Cam Ward. Mel's got Jaxson Dart at number 3 on his list. And I do wonder if a very impressive bowl game performance against the not good Duke defense, missing a bunch of key guys, was a huge factor in that. Jaxson Dart screams back up with maybe more. When things are the way they are supposed to, when it is on time, when it is in structure, when it is the first read, Jaxson Dart has everything you're looking for. He can throw that ball a country mile. The deep ball success was better than anybody in college football. And if you watch the Florida game, you know the downsides too. Where if the first read's not there, when he doesn't get to benefit from a great college offense that doesn't translate that well as for an NFL scouting purpose, things get dicey. And it becomes, oh boy, after that, got to make him do reads, read things out. It's not very good. So Dart's got arm talent, can chuck that ball way downfield in a positive way, but the consistencies, the high-level NFL quarterback asks out of him, were not there on Ole Miss film. Then there's Jalen Milroe, Alabama's quarterback. And this is the pros kind of get whittled down to this. Throw ball far, run fast. That guy normally gets you drafted pretty early. He ran for 700 yards, 20 scores on the ground this year. That guy, I think as a running back, he's a draftable player. Now, of course, the quarterback is first and foremost there. We watched Anthony Richardson have worse production, I think be more consistent as a passer, go top 5. That is not a good comparison to have with the way Richardson's done so far. I think if you're drafting Milroe, he has to sit 2 years. I don't see consistency in the way he reads out a defense. I see inconsistency with his technique and his footwork and all that stuff, and it leads to errant throws. His mechanics are kind of a mess. He doesn't trust the middle of the field. It's not good. There's like shades of Malik Willis, where Willis just would not pull the trigger on things over the middle, and that made Mike Vrabel hate him, by the way. The physical skill set from an arm strength mobility perspective is better than anybody in this class. But that does not make you a great quarterback. It's a lot of the other stuff, and that's where Milroe's lacking. Today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time has a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks. Makes getting tickets for events even easier. It filters out the fluff to only show you incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. It is curation to make it easier to find the better value on tickets to sports, concerts, comedy, everything else in between. Maybe your team's not in the middle of a playoff run. That is okay. They will be able to, you can do theater, do comedy, you can do something else, and still save some good money with the Game Time Picks feature. Use the all-in pricing option to toggle it on or off to show your total cost up front, so there are no surprise fees at checkout. Download the Game Time app today, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Check the comment section, the description for the link, and download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, all guaranteed. Number 5 is Quinn Ewers, and very hyped high school player. Has immense arm talent because his footwork is so bad, he's able to still push that ball downfield. Definitely benefited from the Steve Sarkisian offense, where it makes life easy on their coach, on their players, the quarterback included. I've got 2 big issues with Quinn Ewers. Arm talent's great. He's bad under pressure. Ever since he took that hit against Alabama that messed up his shoulder, he has not been the same. He kind of sees pressure and goes down. He kind of runs into it, creates his own pressure, does not manage a pocket the way he needs to. Even with the quick time to throw, mostly schemed up, holds the ball too long and will make mistakes under pressure. He also has just awful footwork. Now, footwork is personal. And, objectively speaking, Aaron Rodgers' footwork is not good. But it works for Aaron, so no one cares, and nor should they care. When the footwork's bad and you leads to consistently inaccurate throws, especially downfield over the middle, where you get picked off a lot, I don't like that. I think he has great mastery of the Sark offense, but the inconsistent passing, I'm not a fan of. Number 6 is Will Howard, and I think he made himself some money with that college football playoff run because, NFL owners are actually watching there in the CFP. They're not going to watch, random Big Ten games against Purdue, but they will be watching against Texas and against Notre Dame. Howard this year threw for 4,000 yards, and this is a 16-game season, so it's fairly relatable to an NFL campaign from a numbers perspective. Competition level, not so much. And he was nails in the college football playoff, despite the turf monster getting him a few times on scrambles. He absolutely benefited from the supporting cast with 3 5-star recruits, another top 50 guy that played, and a tight end, and 2 running backs that'll be top 70, top 50 picks. But Howard's got good size. He's 6'4", 237. He's bigger than a lot of these quarterbacks are. He's got good arm strength, not elite, but it's good, mostly accurate. In a class that's not very good, you can absolutely convince me that Will Howard should be quarterback 3 in this class. Not over Cam, not over Shedeur, but you can convince me in this bad class that someone's going to go, you know what, this guy can run our offense, he can make plays, he can be a low-end starting QB, or at least should have a 10-year career as a backup. Now, in the money rounds 1, 2, and 3, how many QBs are drafted in that range? Let me know in the comments section of today's video. Kyle McCord is next up here. It's also funny to see Will Howard and McCord back-to-back with each other, which is really, it's humorous as far as I'm concerned. McCord kind of turned into a gunslinger this year for Syracuse, which was very funny given what he was doing previously at Ohio State. I think maybe he's hoping for a 3rd-round pick. kind of try to apply briefly. Threw for a lot of yards all the way at Syracuse. That team was airing it out downfield a lot more than what we'd seen in previous years. Again, has solid size, not a statue in the pocket. I'm thinking backup QB in a class that kind of has a lot of potential backup QBs, if I'm being honest here. Let's go to number 8, Kurtis Rourke, and we'll go faster on some of these down the line names, so to speak. Ohio transfer to Indiana was much better this year for the Hoosiers, was a big factor in their success on offense. He is a big guy, by the way. He's 6'5", 223. You wouldn't think it. Was battling a knee injury all year long, didn't show much mobility, showed a bit more at Ohio. Also Canadian, by the way, which is very rare. Doesn't have great arm strength, though. I think he's kind of a limited skill set quarterback. Now, we will have more NFL draft coverage for you right here on the channel. Do not miss out. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Louisville's Tyler Shough, that is how it's pronounced, by the way, is next up here. And this is somebody who really helped themselves out this year in particular at Louisville. Now, Tyler Shough is not a young player. He is going to be 26 years old in September. That's because he has been at college for an extremely long period of time and never really got good until very late in his career. He was a late bloomer, despite being a very highly touted recruit, many years ago, Oregon, everything else in between. But he's got good size. He's 6'5", 225. Didn't do much at Oregon for 2 years. Kind of lost the job at Texas Tech 3 years in. He's a 6-year college football player who had by far his best year ever with Louisville. I'm a little surprised to see Dillon Gabriel as low as he is at number 10. I think you can make an argument he should be higher. Doesn't have a great physical skill set. Put up great production at the college level at both Oklahoma and at Oregon. Lefty thrower, which makes everyone compare him to Tua, but I don't think that's a necessarily great comparison, despite being from Hawaii and also small. He's listed at 5'11", 204. The weight might be right. He might be closer to 5'10". The arm strength's not great. I think there's limited creation ability, despite some flashes of it at Oregon. Screams backup QB to me. And a lot of these quarterbacks are backup QBs. Is there anyone you think Kiper left off of his quarterback rankings? If there is, drop that name for me in the comments section of today's show. Some other NFL draft prospects I want to mention. Riley Leonard out of Notre Dame, who he can run, but he's not a very good passer. Max Brosmer, I think it's Brosmer, not Brosmer. Minnesota did some decent things this year. Brady Cook is a Shrine Game guy. Peyton Thorne is that's how deep we're down, like the Shrine Game quarterbacks are like, Peyton Thorne's going there, and he wasn't very good. Cam Miller from North Dakota State, it's not a very good group beyond those top couple players at most.